A patient said something to me recently that I hear almost every week. I know I should move more, I just don't have the energy. Or I recently hurt my back and I'm undergoing PT. But the way she said it wasn't lazy, it wasn't defensive. It sounded almost like she was confused of why she was regaining her weight or she wasn't able to lose weight. Like she was wondering why her body and mind wouldn't cooperate with her intentions. That's the moment I want to slow down today because tired has become one of the most misunderstood signals in modern day life. A lot of people assume tired means lazy or undisciplined or out of shape, but most of the time, tired or fatigue means something else. It means you're overloaded. Your body runs on rhythm food, sleep, fluids, movement, rest. When those basics are steady, your system runs smoothly. I'm sure you felt that. When those basics start slipping, fatigue shows up quickly. And right now, a lot of people are living in environments that constantly push that rhythm off track. Think about a normal weekday. You wake up a little earlier than your body would prefer. We just had daylight savings. Maybe you stayed up late finishing work, scrolling, or just trying to get a moment of quiet after the house settled down. You hit the alarm maybe twice. You get moving quickly because there's already pressure on the day. Breakfast just becomes coffee. Not because people don't understand breakfast, but because life doesn't feel urgent. Kids need to get ready. Work emails are already coming in. Traffic is waiting. Meetings start early. So the brain says, I'll eat later. Later doesn't come. The morning moves fast. Your stress builds up and decisions stack up. Maybe you grab something small, maybe you don't. By the afternoon, your body has been running on partial fuel most of the day. And that leads to dehydration. Most people are underhydrated without realizing. When fluids are low, fatigue increases, headaches become more common, and hunger signals often get louder. Maybe not then, definitely at the end of the day. And you're overstimulated. Phones buzzing, notifications, messages, news, noise. Your girlfriend or boyfriend or wife constantly texting you about things that don't even make sense. And you're wondering, why are we fighting about this? Your brain is still processing information almost constantly. All of that costs energy. So when someone tells me they're exhausted by 4 or 5 p.m., I don't hear a motivation problem. I hear a system that has been running above capacity for hours. Your brain is not designed to stay in constant alert mode all day. When stress levels are high, cortisol rises. Cortisol helps you stay alert for short bursts. But if it stays elevated all day, it drains the system. Sleep becomes lighter, hunger signals change. Your body starts looking for quick relief, your mood is off. That's why fatigue and cravings often show up together. Your body is trying to stabilize. Now let's talk about hunger again because hunger and fatigue are closely connected. Earlier in the last episode, we talked about hunger not being the enemy. Hunger is simply a signal that fuel is needed. But when meals are delayed or skipped, hunger signals often get stronger later in the day. By evening, the brain is not only tired, it's also behind in fuel. So people tell me, I'm exhausted and I'm starving at night. Of course they are. The system is trying to catch up. Another piece people miss is blood sugar rhythm. When you eat regularly, especially meals that include protein, blood sugar stays more stable. That's the same concept behind the GLPs, which I'll explain later. When meals are skipped or extremely small, blood sugar rises and falls more dramatically. Those swings create fatigue, irritability, and stronger hunger later. It's not random, it's physics. Your body is simply responding to how energy has been coming in. And here's the part that surprises people. Many individuals who feel too tired to move are not actually lacking motivation, they're lacking stability in their lives. Once meals become more regular, hydration improves, and sleep gets even slightly better, energy often returns surprisingly quickly. I've watched patients who felt completely drained begin walking again within a few weeks once their routine has improved. Nothing dramatic changed, their inputs changed. Let me bring this back to a simple idea. Fatigue is information. Your body is telling you something about the rhythm of your day. It may be telling you you didn't sleep enough, you didn't eat early enough, you didn't have enough fluids, you carried too much stress for too long. Or sometimes it's telling you that your brain has simply been on all day without a break. When you start listening to fatigue as a signal instead of labeling it as laziness, the response changes. Instead of pushing harder, you want to stabilize the basics first. You hydrate earlier in the day, even if you don't have that thirst or that hunger. Because remember, I told you it's mediated by hormones in your body. You protect sleep whenever possible. You move your body gently instead of demanding intense workouts. And most importantly, you fuel your body consistently. Which brings us to something that changes the entire rhythm of the day, the first meal or shake, whatever you want to call it. Because the way the morning starts sets the tone for the entire day or the night for people who are working opposite shifts. Morning cortisol naturally rises when we wake up. That's normal biology. It helps the body become alert. But if the first thing that hits the system is caffeine, I'm not against caffeine, I'm just saying that it can create more stress without good supplementation because you need real fuel. The body starts the day in a mild stress state. So a lot of my patients will do a protein shake with caffeine because they'll get the fuel and they'll get the energy on top of that. You want to make sure your hunger doesn't get delayed and then gets amplified later. That's a pattern many people live with today without realizing. So, in the next episode, we're going to slow down the first meal of the day, not in a diet kind of way. In my opinion, die is in the word diet. Don't do anything that's not sustainable around your lifestyle. In a biological way, because breakfast is not just about calories, it's a signal of safety to your body and your mind. And once that signal changes, the entire day often shifts with it. And we'll walk through that in episode 6. I'll see you there.